Hello, everyone. Welcome to round 10 of the BRL Tier 2 Championship. We're here at the Paul Ricard Circuit in France. And by the looks of it, qualifying is going to be a soaking one. I'm actually here alone tonight. My co-commentator decided just not to reply to anything, so I don't know what's going on right now. But for right now, I'm by myself, and we got a soaking track, and looks like Taylor is the first one out, I believe. So, since I'm by myself tonight, bear with me. Okay? Just keep me updated on anything you want to hear, anything you want to see. And I gotta do double duty tonight, so as that, I saw Downward Leaf leave the session. So I need to invite him back real quick. If I can get him invited back. Give me a second, everyone. Unfortunately, I have to do double duty tonight, so I'll keep you guys updated on quali, and I gotta try to invite people back when they disconnect. So I know you're probably not looking at much right now. You're just looking at a menu, but I'll get to it shortly. So be patient, please. Alright, there. I think we're good now, and we can get to the laps. I know Taylor was the first on an out lap, and perfect timing, because he's starting a lap right now. And, yeah. He said Taylor told us that he was turning off his line. He said if it's wet, he's turning it back on, which is not allowed. So, see what happens, but he's supposed to be on his first lap with no line. Purple first sector, of course. And then in other news of the Tier 2 Championship, Mr. GSR Axe, who was your championship leader and was very consistent in finishes, had 4 wins, I think. He's been bumped up to Tier 1, unfortunately. Downward Leaf has joined back, so that's a good thing. But as I was saying, GSR Axe has been bumped up to Tier 1. Subsequently, that makes Zach JW the current championship leader, and he's not even here for this race. Taylor runs wide off the track there, but he doesn't invalidate. He also runs quite wide there. I can tell he's struggling, so I don't think he has his line on either. I don't know what the forecast is for the race right now. You guys can hear me, I think. Should be able to. Yeah, you can hear me. Okay, so as again, I'm alone tonight. I don't know what happened to Mr. Sergeant Milk. Taylor's gonna cross the line. What time can he do? He crosses the line and does a 1:45.2. Maverick subsequently crosses the line, does a 1:44.1, over a second quicker than Taylor did. Full wet conditions right now, so might see some true driver skill in this session. Could have a shock pole position, maybe? Wow, Skeppy barely tops Maverick. By about 200ths is all the gap that is. And Ritzy, get gold, mate. Nah, I'm kidding. We love you. That's no homo, too. As people are setting times now, Webster jumped up to the top. I guess I'm oblivious. 43.7. That's a good lap from him. I don't know why he stopped right now, though. He needs to get moving. Needs to get moving. Needs to get moving. I know you're trying to stay out the way, but you can't just stop on track there, Webster. Jamie JW. Oh, Tazonic. Haven't heard that name, but very interesting here. As I am seeing this correctly, I hope. Detail. He just set his lap on the inter tires, and he's over a second faster. So, quite possibly looks like the rain has lightened up a bit, and it's inter conditions now. I don't know what the forecast is for the race again. Ritzy, fix your connection then. There should be some other people in lap. Saxman's on an invalidated lap. Friday's invalidated. It should go sliding all over the place. Skeppy in the pits. Which looks like Jamie might be on another lap, or did he just finish that lap? I think he just finished it. And he actually improved. It does look like the rain has lightened up definitely a lot. So we're definitely in an inner condition period right now. But we got some surprise names at the top already. Haven't really seen them recently. We've been used to Axe, Taylor, Overlord, Downward Leaf, Yellow Flag, Sector 2. That's a Williams. Jamie. Don't think he's off. I think he's just staying out the way, or I could be wrong. Does he have a front wing there? He does not have a right side end plate, does he? It's hard to see from this angle, but I do think he actually does. And he straight lines the chicane, which you're really not supposed to do. But I won't be the judge on that one. Oh, he does go for a spin, and he's going to hit the wall, is he? Yes, he does. Oh, boy, it's gone from bad to worse for old Jamie there. I haven't really heard his name before in Tier 2, but P4 right now trying to show up, but he's not doing the best. You're not supposed to be cutting the track like this. It's not an all playground. You're supposed to keep it within track limits. So I think Saxman is now on a lap, but I think he's on the wrong set of tires, because I think it's intermediate conditions now. And that is true as he's struggling for grip, going back into the pits right now. Looking for anyone else that's on inters. Looks like Downward Leaf has just started a lap on inters, struggling for grip out of the first chicane. But we'll see what it can do, because it's definitely inter period, and there's not many other people on intermediates at the moment. There's even some people still going back out, such as Fridays on wet tires. But it doesn't look like full wet. But we'll see. Downward Leaf does set a purple first sector to Zonic and proves his time by good lord, he's almost 3 seconds above Webster. He's flying right now out on track. The inners are definitely the way to go right now. 3 seconds ahead of second place man Webster. And he's getting used to these conditions real quick, isn't he? But as I say that, on my screen it says Downward Leaf has set a purple sector 2. Going through sector 3 now, don't run too wide. It looks like he's kept a nice line through there. This lap has looked pretty tidy from him so far, not too many squirmy moments. Late apex that turn, good traction out of there. We'll see how he can finish this lap. It's been a pretty good lap so far. Tazonic's 3 seconds ahead of anyone else, but I think we could have a challenger right here. Even hooks up the last corner really nicely in these wet conditions. Crossing the line now, flying by my screen. Where does he go? He only goes P2. Still 4/10 off Tazonic. That was a great lap by Tazonic, I'll tell you that. But this track is ramping up right now. We're going to get faster and faster as we go. It says Fridays was on an outlap on wets. That was a complete lie to myself because I can clearly see he's on the green mark intermediate tires right now. He'll be one of the next ones to start a lap. All right. Can I get the actual? Oh yeah. Oh, it's because I had it on best. That's why. Sorry about that. Meant to do fitted. So yes, there's a lot of people out on track right now with a fresh set of intermediate tires. I think Skeppy might be the next one to set it. Oh, Brown Beaner goes fastest by 6/10. This track sure is ramping up really quick. I'm watching Skeppy right now because I think he'll be the next to cross the line on the intermediate tires. He's going through the last part of the track right now. A little wide, but he can hook up that apex there. And this apex here, he hooks that up very nicely. Smooth on the power outwork. Can he go up through the gears, crossing the line? Now he goes P2. P2 only a tenth, less than a tenth behind Brown Beaner. We got a McLaren crossing the line now. That's Saxman starting his lap. Next up, I think, is Aldifer. He's on the inners. Everyone's on the inners right now. He's on an outlap, though, as well. He's just starting his lap. Now, I know these two Renaults are on a lap. Ichigo's definitely on a lap. I think Webster spun in the third sector as well. Ichigo exits the final corner. This track is ramping up really fast. More and more grip. Where can he go on the charts? Only P5. Friday's going to cross right behind him. He only goes P6. It's quite a gap from P5 to P6. Almost 7/10 gap there. Now, I do think Taylor will be the next one to cross the line. He will. But his lap is invalidated. I don't like how people are cutting this track. Not really supposed to do that, people. So Maverick now should be the next person. Going through the final sequence of corners. Into the last corner. Takes a little bit of curb, both on entry and exit. Running to the line. Where does he go? He goes P3. Not a bad lap from the man. Brown Beaner still on pole. Got Skeppy and Maverick P2 and 3. The two Mercedes showing up today, it looks like. Got some people warming up for a lap by the looks of it. Stardust, who he did quite well last week. Yeah, dry tires should work best. Yeah. Fridays has retired. He's bended, hasn't he? We'll have to see what he does. The closest car to him would be that Racing Point, but he's quite far away right now. I don't think we'll get to see what happened, but Fridays is out of this session, and he's P9 now, and he's probably at risk for dropping further down the order. Stardust invalidates his lap. Ichigo's setting another lap at the moment. Probably improved. He does improve. P5 at the moment. Not that far behind Aldifer, to be fair to him. As I say that, Aldifer is on another lap as well. Taylor is also on a lap. Not invalidated this time. Rain has gotten lighter. Track has gotten quicker. So can Taylor go quicker? I think he definitely can. He's only done a 44.5. So we'll see where he can go. Getting traction at the final corner. Powering down, up the gears, cross the line. Where does he go? He goes P1. P1 for the man who I believe is running his first race with no line. He was P1. Now Maverick crosses the line. He takes P1 away from Taylor. Next one across the line, I think will be downward leap, but that will be to start a lap, not finish a lap. Jamie is on a lap right now. He's coming through the final corner now. Accelerating. Where can he go? He was close to the top. I know this track's getting faster, so can he take the top spot back away? No, he can't. Doesn't improve on his time. Disappointment. No, I'm kidding. think Stardust on a lap, though. Nope, still invalidated. So he might be starting another lap. Definitely starting another lap. Alderfer crosses the line. Doesn't improve by the looks of it. Webster starts a lap, definitely. Webster starts a lap. Saxman. No. Brackish starts a lap. And we got a Merc coming out the pit lane. Tizonic crosses the line. Does not improve on his time. Looking at a few people in the final sector. Got a Merc. So we only have 1:50 left in quali. So I think things could get quite busy. Unfortunately, we only have 14 here right now, so I'm watching almost stalled Alderfer here. I think Taylor's crossing the line again. Where does he go? He does not improve. He still stays second fastest. This will be his final chance at a lap for Taylor. Is he pushing at the moment? Sneak peek? He definitely is pushing at the moment. We'll see what he can do. Can he snatch pole back away? We'll see at the end of this lap. I think Downward Leaf is crossing the line now. Where can he go? He's only P9 at the moment. Goes only P5. That's surprising. Will he go for another run? Looks like he is. He's still got the ERS deploying all the time. So I think Stardust coming out the final corner now. Trying to take a short route to the line. Where does he go? Goes P4 right behind his teammate. We got a little queue in the third sector of cars led by Webster. I don't think anyone's on a lap in that queue. Actually, Brownbeaner might be on a lap. He definitely is on a lap. He's getting hampered a little bit, to be fair. This isn't ideal for him. He might be going on another lap. At the moment, Tizonic goes P1 by 4/10. Brownbeaner improves his time. Misses out by 2/10 though. What can everyone else do? Oh, we got a spinner. It's Maverick. Cut away right as that happened. He's damaged the left side of his front wing. That's his qualifying over. It's maximum P3 for him. Taylor's coming through the final corner right now. He's P3. This will be his final lap. Can he take pole position away? He only takes P2, snatches P2 from Brownbeaner. Not much else he could do. We got a McLaren crossing the line right now. Saxman goes P4. Pretty good lap from him. About a 0.5 ahead of Maverick. Not bad, not bad. Next to cross the line, Downward Leaf, but he's invalidated. And not Downward Leaf, we got Jamie, who definitely, he's not pushing at the moment, it doesn't look like. Because he's got some wing damage, it seems. But it looks like he's still going to try to push it to the line. Still pushing. He was in none for an extra rotation. He has a damaged wing and only P8 for him. And that's his qualifying done. Where does Webster go? He's P13 right now. Mr. Jonathan Webster, where can you go? Throttling down the backstretch. He's P13. Can he improve? He does. He goes P6. Snatches it away from Stardust. We got another McLaren coming out the final corner. It is Brackish. He's on a valid lap. Has not set a lap yet. So he's dead last in P14. But where can he go? Can he do anything? Only goes P10, unfortunately. And I think that is qualifying over for us. So we got Tizonic on pole position. I don't know if Taylor is using line, but if he is, he's not really supposed to be. But he's got P2 at the moment, so kudos to him if that is without line. Taylor, I know you're watching the stream. You could go ahead and tell me if that was without line or not, because if that was without line, kudos to you. And as we see right as qualifying ends, it has stopped raining, of course. So, a headache for these drivers, but not for Tizonic. He takes pole position at the French Grand Prix. So let's go through our grid. We got Tizonic in P1, Taylor P2, Brownbeaner P3, Saxman P4, Maverick P5, That's a good qualifying for him since the down races he's had previously. Webster P6, that's also a good qualifying from him. Stardust 7th, Skeppy 8th, Jamie JW 9th, Brackish 10th, Downward Leaf 11th, Aldifer 12th, Ichigo 13th, and Fridays. Here's the big shocker. Fridays. The one. All right, Taylor, I just asked if you would just kindly tell me if you were using line or not. I didn't tell you you had to scream at me in all caps in the chat, okay? We all know you're a sweat. Stop. Stop bullying. It's not okay. Okay? It's not okay. Good luck in the race, though. So kudos to you, Taylor, for getting P2 in the wet. No line for the first time. What I was saying before I looked at the chat to see an all caps message at me, Fridays is last on the grid in P14 after wrecking out. He is currently P2 in the championship since our old championship leader, GSR Axe, subsequently got bumped up into Tier 1 for being too quick. He was too quick, okay? He got bumped up to Tier 1, unfortunately. But hopefully he can do well there. Interesting. I'm seeing something right now. Very interesting strategies I'm already seeing. But Fridays is P2 in the championship, and our current championship leader, Zach JW, is not here again. So he's missed yet another race. I wonder if Tazonic is in the session. Is it because he's ghosted at the moment? So let me try to get this. Let me try to get him back in here. I don't know if he's in here or not. Right, he's got an invite if he isn't in here, because he's still ghosted. But he is technically on pole position at the moment. Give me a quick second. So Fridays has got some work to do in this race to try to make up some points in the championship like he rightly should. But Taylor is right as of right now. He's leading the pack. I would like to assume Tazonic's in here, but I've invited him to the race. I've invited him back to the session, and we're lined up on the grid at the moment. So our pole sitter could be in some serious trouble here. He'll still line up on pole position, but he might lose it very quick and drop further back, unfortunately. As Tazonic will be the last person to line up on the grid. Alright, so we're getting ready for the French Grand Prix. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights on. And it's lights out, and away we go. Tazonic's not in the session. Taylor will take the lead down into turn 1. He got a good start anyway. Far clear of anyone else. He's on the soft tires, which I was going to mention earlier, but let's look at the action back in the pack. Brackish is getting pressure, but he's had a good start. No, it's just a glitch. Saxman's in P2 at the moment. He's had a good start, and behind him is Maverick. I was trying to look at these tires, but I want to keep on board with the action because we got a spinner. It's Webster. Has he made contact with anyone else? I don't think so. He still has his front wing. We're going down the backstretch right now. Brown Beaner's going to be under attack by Maverick. Maverick's looking to the inside. I think he thinks better of it at this moment. Yes, he does. Skeppy's P5. The Mercedes are having a good race so far. Maverick's still on the back of Brown Beaner. We'll see if he can do anything these upcoming corners. He's having an inside look, but he can't do anything. He almost hits the back of Brown Beaner. He's going to try to go down the inside. That's not going to work there. Maverick, is he going to hit the wall? Nope. He saves it, and he'll get going again, but he'll drop to the back of the field right in front of Webster, and he'll have to make many positions back up. I think Maverick spun again, trying to get the traction back down just out of frustration. Now he has properly dropped to the back of the pack. But anyway, Taylor leads the first lap, fastest lap of the race. Now can I get these freaking tires up? Thank you. I wanted to mention this. The interesting thing here is that, well, Maverick gets 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and he's already done with it. He's retired. He's already had enough. He's already had enough. So he's done with the race. He's done with the session. He doesn't care anymore. He's done. Taylor's pulled out a 1.8 second gap. Brown Beaner's under a little pressure from Skeppy behind as I'm seeing Tizonix join back, so that's a good thing for him. Brown Beaner's putting Saxman under a little bit of pressure as well, but Taylor's pulled out 1.5 second gap. Taylor and Skeppy are on soft tires right now, so that is a very interesting strategy. It looks like Skeppy's looking for a move on Brown Beaner's. Not going to happen at the end of this straight. We got a yellow flag sector 1. That is Maverick's car coming back out the pit lane after retiring, and it's going to park somewhere. I hope it doesn't cause a safety car or VSC. That'd be unfortunate if it does. Parking in sector 1, and we got a green flag again, so no safety car. Taylor's pulling out a gap. Skeppy's trying to get by these two because he's on the softer rubber. Now, as I was saying, everyone is going to have a free tire choice right now because everyone qualified on wet tires. Skeppy sets the fastest lap of the race at this point in time. I think Downward Leaf's under a bit of pressure here from behind. Yeah, he is under a little bit of pressure. He goes a little deep. I think Brackish will have a better line through here. No, not going to happen. Did I see carbon fiber there? I do. Brown Beaner's round. He's not got damage, but he's going again. Webster's already made his way back up to the pack almost. Skeppy is now up to P3 after Brown Beaner's mistake, which drops him down to P13. Stardust and Jamie look like they're going at it. Ichigo looking for a move. That was very close. Hear me out. Hear me out, everyone. As Joe just said in the chat, it just got really dark really quick at the Circuit Pod Ricard. So that might explain why Taylor and Skeppy have elected for soft tires, because if it was a full dry race, they might not have done that. Ichigo sent it up the inside at that left-hander. He made the move stick as I was saying that. Good move from him. Unorthodox move, but he made it work, so. But will he be back under pressure? I don't think he will this time. Looking further back in the pack, Downward Leaf. And Friday's going at it side by side. Friday's goes down the inside. Can he hold it? Oh, he's on the outside now. I think he might make it work. There's a lot of wheel banging right there. Looking at Alderfer's point of view right now. They're going side by side into this corner. 2 into 1 don't really work, but they're making it work. It's starting to rain right now as I'm saying all this. Alderfer's trying to go around the outside. It's not going to work right there. They're going onto the back straight now. I'll tell you what, Taylor and Skeppy have made the right call here. They're on soft tires, and it's starting to rain. They have made the perfect call. Taylor's pulled out a gap. Aldifer's flying pass downward lead. He's already made the pass. Will he go for two? Sends it down the inside of Friday. He's not going to work, but can he do the switchback? Tries to straighten it up for the back straight. Nope, not going to happen. Poor traction out of there, honestly, and already a little gap there now. Skeppy's all on the back of Saxman. He's got the softer rubber at the moment, but the rain's starting to come down just a little harder each time. Will we see any takers in the pit lane this time by? I don't think so. I don't think it's wet enough yet, but it was good to think, just to think. Saxman locks up a little bit, but Skeppy doesn't have the best apex, but he will have DRS on this straight. He doesn't have much ERS though. Looking at this battle, Jamie definitely has DRS on Ichigo as well. Someone is already in the pits. It's Tazonic and Webster. Are they going for intermediates already, I wonder? We'll see it pop up. Yes, Webster's gone for intermediates. What is Tazonic gone for? Probably the same thing, I'd assume. Yeah, he's gone for intermediates, so they're making the early call, trying to get the undercut on everyone else. We'll see if it works. It's a bold move, because DRS isn't even disabled yet. As we see, Jamie has it right here. Skeppy's also got it on Saxman, but he still thinks better of it at the chicane. Doesn't try to send it there. Gets pretty good traction out though, but Saxman is using the rest of his battery. Saxman has no battery left. Skeppy has 20%. Taylor's got all the battery in the world over here at 80%. And I don't care if you're watching the stream. I'm telling the people who actually like to watch the stream for enjoyment what's going on. So if you're racing and you're watching the stream, oh wow. Thank you for saying that, Joe, because this rain is getting harder. Will we have takers this time round? I don't think so either, but Skeppy is all over the back of Saxman, but just cannot seem to get by. Saxman does not have almost any overtake right now, but he has a really slippery car in a straight line. Skeppy once again elects to stay behind. I bet you those soft tires are still slightly going off now. We got two at the back of Tazonic and Webster. It's already pitted for intermediates, trying to get the jump on the rest of the pack, but Tazonic's 30 seconds back from Brownbeaner, who's in 11th, so that'd be really bold if that ever does happen. Other than the Skeppy battle right now, he's dropped off a little bit of that. We have a yellow flag somewhere. That's Webster in the final sector. He's trying to get the undercut. It's not worked for him. Skeppy gets a 3-second time penalty for track extension. Oh, Brownbeaner or Stardust almost lost it. He keeps it straight. Somehow, some way, he's using overtake now. He was closing in on the top three. Not gonna happen anymore. And Ichigo literally has 0% battery right now, and he's kind of low on fuel, so need to do some conservation there. Webster spun again in the first sector. It's gone from bad to worse for him. Jamie's all over the back of Brackish, and the rain still looks like it's coming down harder and harder. Are we gonna get any takers? We have another spinner in sector 3. It's downward leaf. And no, you cannot cut the track like that there, bud. You get a deserved 10-second time penalty, and you reset the track, and you're not supposed to do that either. So, yep, sorry, we caught that all on stream, bud. Not supposed to do that, unfortunately. It's getting really wet now, and I think you didn't speed in the pit lane. But it's getting really wet now. Downward leaf retires from the session after doing all that he's not supposed to do. Somehow these guys are keeping the car straight. Saxman squirrely on the power. Skeppy still has DRS somehow, but Saxman has DRS on Taylor. I don't know how. He's outside of a second. Webster stays out of the way. That's good on him. Yellow sector 2 or sector 3 is downward leaf, and yellow sector 2 is Webster letting other cars by. Because Zonic, I feel like right now he's made the right call, but the circuit looks so wet, but these guys are on slicks right now. I just don't know. I feel like they're going to be coming in the pit soon, but DRS has not been disabled yet. I've had a similar incident like this at France where it never became wet enough to actually put on inters. Saxman's going in the pits though. He's still elected for inters. Don't speed there. He's not sped. Anyone else electing for the intermediates? Yep, Ichigo's definitely wanting some intermediates right now. Anyone else behind him? Brown Beaner's elected. I want some intermediate tires too. The Zonic's already on the intermediates. Everyone else though stayed out on slicks at the moment. Taylor and Skeppy, as I said, they definitely made the right call here. They're on softs. They started on softs, knew it was going to get wet, and there's a lot more than I thought are in the pits for inters. We got Saxman, we got Ichigo, we got Brown Beaner, and we got Fridays. Tazonic's already on inters, but it doesn't look like he's going to jump those people that just went on inters. Webster's retired in the pit lane. Skeppy still has DRS. I'm really surprised because this track looks really wet. I don't know if you guys can see it almost as clear as I'm seeing it, but the track looks really wet to me. But Skeppy and Taylor are kind of pulling away from the rest of the pack. The top 6 are on slicks at the moment, while 7th through 11th are on intermediates, which is very, very interesting. Because it doesn't look like it's raining any harder, but it's very tentative out there at the moment. Is Taylor going to go in for slicks? No, he stays out. So does Skeppy. Do any of the top 6 pit for slicks right now? Yes, Stardust does. He says, I want a set of slicks, or inters, I mean, my bad. Brackish says, I want a set of inters. Jamie stays out. All the first stays out. So now we got 4 drivers who are on slicks. The top 4, of course. 2 of which are fighting for the lead at the moment. Taylor and Skeppy. While everyone else, 5th through 11th, are on intermediate tires, all kind of spread out. There's only 11 cars, unfortunately, so there's not many close battles on track. This is the closest battle we have on track. And Jamie's spun, he's on slicks, he hasn't hit the wall, but is gonna need to be careful getting back on the traction there. It's going to be easy to spin again, but he keeps it straight. Yeah, Saxman on the intermediates. I feel like it's time for intermediates, boys, but I can't really tell. Taylor's lost the lead to Skeppy. How the heck could I miss that? Wow, Skeppy's taking the lead of the French Grand Prix. As I was focusing on Jamie, who did a spinala. What? I don't... What? What did I say? What did I say? That's what you said. Skeppy's in the pits, Taylor's in the pits. It's definitely time for some intermediate tires. I think everyone's coming in for intermediate tires, even though I didn't see DRS disabled. Is Jamie coming in? He's definitely coming in. Ichigo's got a 3-second time penalty. Saxman's going to take the lead of this race, maybe. Not saying definitely. Oliver, no, is going to take the lead of this race. He's staying out on medium tires, which leaves him to be the only one out there on dry tires. Saxman does take the provisional lead of this race. He jumps both Skeppy and Taylor, but Skeppy's going side by side with Saxman. Can he make the dive work? It's not going to work this time. Jamie and Brownbean are going at it, it looks like. Or is Jamie's dropped down. I'm not sure how. Brackish and Ichigo side by side. Brackish is past Ichigo there. Saxman gets squirrely going on to the straight. Taylor's dropped off the back of Skeppy quite a bit, surprisingly. Skeppy and Saxman now fighting for the win of this race. Looks like Skeppy might get some better traction out of there. Saxman doesn't have much ERS to play with here. Only about 3% actually. Skeppy has 62%. He needs to be a little more confident around that corner. Aldifer's fallen off a lot on those slick tires. It's too slick now, Aldifer. You need to go get some inners. Go slap on a set of intermediates. It's way too wet now, buddy. That could slow down Saxman. It doesn't. Saxman gets around him, but it could definitely slow down Skeppy. Aldifer's now going into the pits. He might be speeding, though. He definitely sped. 5-second time penalty for him, unfortunately. Saxman now in the lead of this race. Skeppy behind him at about 8/10, I'd say. No, he's out of over a second. Taylor's behind Skeppy. I said Skeppy and Taylor made the right call for softs, which they did. They did definitely make the right call for softs to get out ahead of everyone, but they didn't pit for inners in time, and that's let Saxman, who pitted 2 laps before them, to take the lead of this French Grand Prix. Aldifer's dropped all the way back to P10. Friday's only in P9 at the moment. He's looking to gain some points back, but it's started to rain a lot more now. There's a lot more droplets on the car, and each of these cars are kind of at least a second behind each other. Taylor's kind of close to Skeppy. I don't think anything's going to happen right now. Aldifer's definitely looking for a move on Fridays. I'll tell you what, it's looking really wet at the moment. Aldifer hits the back of Fridays. It's looking like full wet conditions pretty soon, I'll tell you that. It's really chucking the rain down now. That rain has gotten harder. It looks like what it was at the start of qualifying. Can we see people going into the pits for a set of full wets, maybe? Because that's what it's definitely looking like at the moment. It's definitely looking like full wet, but no one's going in for full wet tires. I don't think it's worth it. Oh, yeah, someone does. Brackish thinks it's worth it. He's diving into the pits, as well as Ichigo. It's time for some full wet tires. Maybe Aldifer might dive into the pits, make a decisive decision. No, he won't. Fridays does, though. He makes definitely a decisive decision. He wants full wets. Stardust gets 3 seconds. People going on to full wets now. I know Taylor's listening, so you might want to go on to full wets. Yeah, I think for Aldifer, if he would have gone on to full wets, that would have been much better. Look at the visibility right now. You can almost see nothing. You can barely see where your apexes are right now. It's chucking down rain at the Paul Ricard circuit. We could get a banger race here. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. Right now, there's not much overtaking, but it is rain-soaked right now. Oh, man, very slippery. Taylor might have some better traction on Skeppy. They're both using overtake at the moment, but I think we're definitely going to see some more people dive into the pits for full wets this lap. Skeppy not dealing with these full wet conditions on the inners too well. It's really chucking it down, and the visibility for Taylor right now, being in the spray behind Skeppy, I can already tell is very low. Skeppy runs wide, but Taylor very tentative on the traction. He can barely get the power down. I think someone in the top 3 is going to dive for full wets. I think they all are going to dive for full wets. Saxman first, Skeppy second, Taylor in third. Stardust definitely coming in for a set of full wets. I think Brown Beaner, who's 11 seconds behind him, will dive in for a set of full wets. Will anyone get jumped in the pit lane? That's the real question here. I don't think so. Taylor puts on a set of full wets. Can he jump Skeppy? I don't think so. No, he has not jumped Skeppy. So they're going to come out exactly as they came in. Brown Beaner might lose a position to Jamie here, though, because the AlphaTauri team still need to get set to give him the full wets. I'm interested in this because I think Jamie might get out ahead of... And I think he has. I think Jamie has got out ahead of Brown Beaner. That's unfortunate for him because the AlphaTauri team had to adjust there. But we're at full wet conditions right now. Anything can happen. Can it? Yeah, anything can happen. Ichigo's only 6/10 off of Stardust. That looks like our closest battle at the moment. Alderfer drops to the back of the pack. It was looking so well for him. In the end, didn't really work. This is a rain-soaked French Grand Prix. Not even halfway done, to be honest. Ichigo's looking for a move on Stardust. It's not going to happen this time round. Visibility is very bad. And I'll tell you what, Downward Leaf has now left the session. Taylor, I'll give you kudos right here. This is your first race, one of your first races with no line. It's full wet. Doing a good job. P3 podium position at the moment. Go get that dub. But, in other words, Saxman and Skeppy are the ones racing for that dub right now. And honestly, anyone else could get it because the group of Brackish, Stardust, and Ichigo right behind them definitely could still win this race. Not far off of the leaders. Got a yellow sector 3. That looks like Alderfer. It's gone from bad to worse for him. I'd expect him to retire. But maybe, maybe not. We'll see. I feel bad for him because he said he put in laps on laps on laps of practice here at the circuit, and it's all gone to shambles for him, so. Skeppy's about a second behind Saxman. Taylor dropping off just a little bit. 3 seconds behind Skeppy, just a little bit. That's quite a bit, actually. Brackish P4, looking for hunting down Taylor for that P3 position. And I think we're far from done with this race. It's full wet right now, but I got a feeling it might get lighter. The rain might get lighter. Joe, if you could tell me if I'm right or wrong about that. Will the rain get lighter? Because I know you're watching right now. Alderfer's left. He hasn't retired, though. I don't think he's not retired from this session. He's not supposed to be doing that because that can cause a lot of problems. That can cause a lot of problems. Oh, man, these cars are on the limit right now. Oversteer everywhere. Stardust is actually catching up to Brackish. Brown Beaner's got another penalty. Actually, the pack of the top 6, pretty close, actually. They're not massively spread apart. Even though they are at least a second apart from each other. And honestly, the closest right now is Brackish to Stardust and Stardust to Ichigo. Sorry about that. Stardust now within 8/10 of Brackish. It looks like he's got some pretty good pace in this wet conditions. Controlling the slip. Not much he can do right now. Brown Beaner's only about 4/10 off of Jamie. Jamie goes wide. Misses the apex. He runs wide, and that gives the position to Brown Beaner, who slots up to P7. Friday's looking to get involved in that battle for P7 up there. Saxman's quite pulled a gap off from Skeppy. Taylor's closed in a little more on Skeppy, closed in about a second and still closing that gap. Brackish hasn't really closed that gap much, but still looking to. Stardust was 0.8 off, now he's 1.1 off. Got a spinner. That's Jamie. He's gone off at the end of the back straight. That could very well be a safety car. Could very well be a safety car. We'll see, we'll see. I don't see it yet. No, there's no safety car. We're still green flag. Skeppy, another 3-second time penalty. So at this moment, I'm going to check time penalties for y'all, and y'all see it on the stream too. Joe says rest of the race rain maybe enters by the end. That is very good information. Thank you for that, Joe. Very much appreciated. How about we check penalties? Saxman. Nothing. Literally nothing. Not even a single warning for Saxman. Skeppy has 1 penalty, 2 penalties, so 6 seconds for Skeppy. Taylor has no penalties at the moment, by the looks of it. Brackish has no penalties at the moment. Stardust has a single penalty. Ichigo has 2 penalties. Brown Beaner had quite a bit of penalties. 1, 2, 3, 4 penalties. Fridays, 1 penalty. Tazonic, no penalties. Aldifer has a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Jamie is retired. We only have 10 runners left. But I'll tell you what, it's looking like intermediate conditions. If I were someone, I'd jump in the pits right now because I see that rain. That rain's lightening up. Someone, please jump in the pits. It's intermediate conditions soon. Please, please, someone, jump in the pits. It looks like intermediate conditions to me. It very much does look like intermediate conditions to me. Will Brown Beaner do it? He has quite a few penalties. No, he doesn't do it. Fridays do it. He doesn't do it. No. Will Tazonic do it? No. No one's going into the pits this lap. I'm shocked. It's definitely intermediate conditions again. Because that rain has lightened up. There might be some standing water, but that rain has definitely lightened up. Taylor's closed in another half a second on Skeppy. Give me a second, guys. Alright, I apologize about that. Taylor's closed in a lot on Skeppy. I think Skeppy might have made a mistake. I didn't see it. Joe Singh enters this lap. Jamie has left the session. Faldifer would just join back. Saxman stayed out. Unbelievable. Skeppy's in the pits for enters. Taylor stayed out. What? Skeppy might have just made the right call to win this race. Brackish is in for enters. Oh, I think Stardust just hit the back of Brackish. I think he has some wing damage. Ichigo's behind Stardust. All these guys are in for enters. Brown Beaner's a little further behind him. We'll see what happens. Is Stardust getting his wing replaced? He definitely is. He did hit the back of the McLaren of Brackish going into the pit lane. So Skeppy's on... this is interesting now. Skeppy's come out ahead of Brown Beaner, which is good for him. Taylor gets a 3-second time penalty. And to remind everyone, Skeppy has 6 seconds worth of penalties. Taylor has now 3 seconds worth, and Saxman has no penalties whatsoever. If I were Skeppy at this moment, I'd be burning all my overtake. I want to get this undercut on the two ahead of me. Because the Inters are probably the faster tire right now. Brownbeaner's looking for a little bit of luck right now. Maybe catch a VSC and close up to the pack ahead. But Saxman Taylor and Brownbeaner are the only ones left out on wet tires. The rain has definitely lighted up. Saxman's in for a set of Inters, does not pick up a penalty, neither does Taylor. Very clean into the pit lane. Both of them going back on to intermediate tires now. Where does Skeppy come out in relation to these two? Brownbeaner's spun on his wet tires. As I say that, Ichigo and Brackish side by side going into the final corner. Oh boy, that was close, wasn't it? Ichigo's going to be on the back of Brackish. It's still rain soaked out here, but he's going to try to make a move down the inside. Can he make it stick? He sends it. Gonna get clipped. Oh, can he do the switchback though? No, it doesn't look like it at this time. Well, maybe. He's on the overtake. Nope, not gonna happen. Gets really close to the back of him. Brownbeaner's on mediums. Brownbeaner's on mediums. I mean, I guess you got nothing else to lose, right? But I think it's way too early for mediums. Top three are really close, you know? Oh, that's not the top three, though. It's Alderfer making it look like the top three are close. I think this is the closest battle on track right now. Ichigo and Brackish. Besides the battle for the lead, that still is going to be a good battle all the way to the end of the race. Unfortunately, everyone, this is France, and it doesn't provide the best of excitement at times, but, you know, I'm trying my best here, and still got 8 laps left. Yep, we still got 8 laps left, so we're going to make it through together, but, and the good news, top 6 is quite close. It's just really hard to overtake right now, as Ichigo's demonstrating that. Getting all slidey on the exit of the first chicane. If he can keep it together, he might have a chance to attack Brackish. We'll see. See. Can he keep it smooth on the power? Not much wheel spin. Does get a pretty good exit, but I think they both have similar amounts of ERS, and it's just not going to happen without DRS at the moment. He'll brake as late as possible. Picks up a 3-second time penalty for his troubles. At the moment, Saxman's looking in control of this race with no time penalties. Taylor's picked up 3 seconds. Skeppy's picked up 6 seconds. So I know Taylor's listening, so Taylor, if you can get within 3 seconds of Skeppy, you have that position. I know you're fighting for it. Ichigo. Still looking to make a move on Brackish. Most unorthodox place, maybe. Ooh, that might not work. It might work. Does he send it down the inside? He does, but it doesn't make the move work. Brackish keeps it round the outside. Defending with everything he's got. Brackish holding on to this P4. He's still looking to try to get P3, I believe, because I don't think he has any time penalties, which is quite amazing considering what he's done. He has 3 warnings, but I don't think 2 of those are, or I don't think those are all 3 track extension warnings. Which Ichigo does have a 3-second time penalty. But Brackish is still trying to fight to get within 3 seconds of Taylor. And maybe even getting within 6 seconds of Skeppy. Try to steal a podium here. But Ichigo's trying to do the same, but he has just a few more penalties than Brackish ahead of him. Brownbeaner took a risk on those mediums. It's not working. It's not working for him right now. And yeah, you can just see it's unbelievably. It's not working for him right now. Joe says rain might end in the last laps. Well, you got 6 laps left as Saxman crosses the line to end this lap. Chico's still looking to make a move on Brackish. This is definitely the closest battle we have on track at the moment. Ichigo just picked up another warning there. Oh, keep it straight there, buddy. He's pushing really hard, but I feel like he's pushing a little too hard. Because, well, let's see what he can do on this backstretch, and then I'll check from what I was thinking. No, I don't think he'll make a move this time. So, I'll check Ichigo, who has 1, 2, 3 penalties, so 9 seconds worth. Stardust, behind him, has only 1 3-second time penalty. So, Stardust gets within 6 seconds, which he is right now. At a yellow Sector 3, Brownbeaner's retired. That causes a virtual safety car. So I think he's Bendit trying to go into the pit lane. He was on slicks, so I'm not going to say it was on purpose. It was probably a very difficult, still a very difficult corner. Skeppy's fallen off a bit. Taylor's now within 3 seconds, which means he would take P2 away from Skeppy. Brackish was looking to try to get within 3 seconds of Taylor, but as of right now, that's not happened. Because I believe Skeppy still has 2 penalties, and Taylor only has 1 penalty. And Ichigo's got by Brackish. I saw him slow down a lot there. Did he get a penalty? No, he didn't. But I did see him slow down a lot at the last corner, and that's cost him. Ichigo now gets by Brackish, but I remember Brackish doesn't have as many penalties as Ichigo, so Ichigo might have some better pace than Brackish. But if Brackish can stay within a certain gap, he can still pick up that P4. But Stardust looking now. He might steal P5, possibly even P4 away from the 2 ahead of him, just on time penalties. Saxman still looking in control of this race. Has not picked up a time penalty yet. 2 cars behind him have time penalties. Actually, the 3, I think mostly everyone has a time penalty except for him. I think only the top 8 will get points here. Because I don't think Brownbeaner completed 90% of the race distance. No, he did not complete 90% of the race distance, so he will not get the points for finishing at P10. unfortunately. And Aldifer's been disconnected for most of the race, so he definitely won't get points for P9. So, only 8 cars scoring points at the moment. And even the person in 8th, who is second in the championship right now, still squirming for grip, still fighting for everything he can get. That's how competitive this league is. And unfortunately at the moment, interesting. I was gonna say the cars have spread out quite a bit. No cars really close to each other right now. But it has stopped raining, as Joe said. It has stopped raining. So it's still intermediate conditions right now. You can see the track is definitely wet. But I know this track likes to dry up really quick. So will anyone, and I mean anyone here, take a risk to put on slicks and make a last charge? A last charge against anyone. Will anyone take that risk? Brackish closing back up on Ichigo. I think Ichigo made some sort of mistake. There is still quite a significant amount of spray coming off those tires right now. DRS is still not enabled, so unless it dries up dramatically this lap, I think most drivers will just stick with the inners for the rest of the race. It would have to dry up dramatically this lap for someone to go on slicks. Because if they go on slicks, they'd have to be about 15 seconds a lap quicker. But at the moment, that doesn't look like the case, considering there would only be 2 laps left. When they cross the line. Brackish is in the slipstream of Ichigo. I don't think anything will happen this lap. I think Brackish will definitely pick up P4 because of Ichigo's penalties. Stardust, I think he'll pick up P5 because of Ichigo's penalties. It'll drop Ichigo down to P6 at the moment. Only 8 people scoring points at the moment, so I think that's a new record here. I think even more people scored points at Monaco. So only 8 people currently scoring points, which is more than Monaco, which I'm actually not surprised. It has dried up quite a bit this lap, actually. No, still no one for slicks. DRS not enabled yet, so I'd say that everyone here is just going to stay out on the inners for the next 2 laps, but Brackish not done with the race. He's looking on the inside of Ichigo right now, breaks late. Ichigo, if Brackish would have broke on par with him, Ichigo would have just chopped across his nose. Oh, as I say that, DRS enabled. Brackish will have DRS this lap. Interesting. Friday's pits for slicks. He'll definitely go for it on the last couple laps. See if he can pit to Sonic. Not much else he can lose at this point. So good call from him, I'd say. DRS enabled. Brackish has DRS now. Why are you not in the slipstream, mate? But you're going to pull to the right side of him. Gonna try to make a move around the outside. Ichigo goes late. Brackish does the switchback. Oh, and they make contact. Ichigo spins round. I personally believe that's Ichigo's fault. Brackish left ample space for Ichigo, and Ichigo shatters his wing. We'll see if that loses him any more positions. Friday's on a set of softs looking to make something work. Can he catch to Sonic in time? It's a 35-second gap. He'd have to catch him by almost 18 seconds a lap. He might get fastest lap, though. Might definitely get fastest lap, though. we're going on to the final lap of the race. Saxman is leading at the moment. Ichigo's picked up wing damage, and he's going to try to limp home to a P6. He might even lose out to Tazonic. I'm going to look at that now. Ichigo has 1, 2, 3, 4 penalties, 12 seconds. Tazonic has no penalties whatsoever. So, if Tazonic's within 12 seconds, which as of right now he is within 12 seconds, he'll get Ichigo on penalties. Ichigo has wing damage, so I'm not surprised. Fridays is going to try to close in. It's the last lap, though. I think it's way too late for anything to happen. What is the penalty situation between Brackish and Stardust? Brackish has no pins, correct? He has no pins as long as he doesn't get one this lap. Stardust has 1 pin. So even if Stardust were to get by Brackish would still keep P4. And if Taylor can get within 3 seconds of Skeppy, he'll pick up P2. But he's got to push these final few corners. He's 6/10 off. Going into the final set of corners, I don't think it's going to happen. He's got to give it everything, full overtake to the line. He's within 4/10, 5/10. It's not going to happen. Saxman picks up the win. Kudos to him. Taylor's going to pick up P3. Skeppy P2. Brackish going to cross the line. Going to come home in a solid P4 position. Good race from him. Stardust P5. Ichigo's going to finish P6, but going to lose that P6. Hasn't even crossed the line yet. What a joke. What a joke. What an actual joke. You're a clown for doing that. Zonic picks up P6 over Ichigo. Fridays will probably set the fastest lap of the race here. Pitted for slicks. Had nothing else to lose, but hey, look, it's worked out. He'll pick up an extra point for this championship. So, fastest lap of the race definitely will go to Fridays. He's run out of fuel, but I still think he set the fastest lap of the race. We'll see if I'm right there. We'll get our podium sitters. We'll get our podium sitters in here momentarily. Brackish driver of the day. I'll have to do the interviews myself, which is no problem. So, we got Saxman winning the race. We got Skeppy in P2. And then we got Taylor P3 in his BRL no-line debut. Solid race from the three. Let me get to the menu where I can invite them. And yes, Fridays did pick up the fastest lap of the race. Not by much though, as you see. Just getting our podium sitters in here now. I'm lonely in here, Taylor. I know. I didn't say it as a bad thing. I was giving you kudos.
Just do the interview.
I was giving you kudos, okay? I wasn't making fun of you. Milk would do that. I wouldn't do that.
I was joining our party. Someone said that, what's it called? I was running line. You said that I was running line.
Well, I said...
Something like that.
I said, what I did say, if someone would actually interpret it right, I said that you said before the race that if it was wet, you would turn on line, which is not allowed. That's what I said.
I did say that.
Which is a fact, but you didn't turn on line, so I gave you kudos because you got a podium in your no-line debut, and it was wet most of the time.
Actually, I ran no-line last week.
Yeah, but this week it was official. So if you three
Sure.
could include your audio, and I'll do my
Tis
first
included.
my first lonely podium interviews of the year, because I'm lonely. Milk didn't say anything to me, but I'll start with Taylor since you're P3. It was kind of an exciting race, but kind of a boring race at the same time because there was action between the you top three the whole race. You were pretty close, especially at the beginning. So I know you were looking for a move opportunity. Just talk us through your race, I guess. I know it was kind of chaotic with the weather changing.
Oh yeah, I knew the softs were gonna be alright to call it start on because um it was like the weather thing on the top. It has like the 8 clouds or whatever, and it was the third one was the rain, and I knew it wasn't gonna be 10 minutes. It was more or less gonna be 5, so I called that correctly, surprisingly. So from there, I was just keep an eye on the rain if it was slicking up, move my braking zones back as needed, and then pit stops come around. I got held by Skeppy twice when he entered in front of me, and I made sure I released when he was already behind me. So I lost like 3 seconds per pit stop from that, but good
Unfortunately,
race
I
all
didn't
over.
catch it on stream. So I'm gonna ask, how did you lose the lead to Skeppy?
Oh, I lost it coming out of the chicane on the backstretch, and I just told Skep to go because I was probably going to end up spinning it, which I surprisingly didn't.
Yeah, 'cause I did say on the start, we were like 4 laps in and it started raining, and I said, you and Skeppy made the right call. You both started on softs, and you were the only two to do so, which was the right call in the end because of the rain. Now that brings me on to Skeppy. You seemed to have the lead of the race because you and Taylor were on softs. You seemed to have the lead of the race. But Saxman did pull off that undercut, and I'm surprised you didn't cover him off the next lap, both of you actually. You waited another lap after that to finally pit, and you just came out behind him. You seem to have similar pace as him all race, but you had a couple of penalties, which even if you passed him, it wouldn't have mattered at that point. But talk us through your race, Skep.
So that was an exciting one. And like the last 5 laps, my heart was pounding. But at the start, I just kind of listened to Taylor and Mav, and they were both saying that softs was the right choice. So I went with that. And then basically with the undercut, I figured he was going to pit, so he did. And I thought I had the pace, but with Taylor, but it was still like, it was way too slippery. And then when I got put onto the inters, I just absolutely like ERS dumped down the front straight to try to cover him off, and I was super super close. Like I think going into turn one, it was like a tenth and a half between us, but I just he outpaced me in the wet. That's pretty much it. He kept it a little bit more tidy. I had a couple snaps of oversteer, and then just really like scary moments that made you not want to push so much. And then when it came down to like 8 to go, I just started thinking that maybe P2 is the way to go because I couldn't cover him off with penalties. But
Well, good
don't like
race from
France in the
you.
wet. Yeah, don't like France in the wet.
Well, you still managed to
Last,
P2 out of it, so
yeah, the
you
last
might
four
like it
races
after
basically was
this.
all DNFs. I might
Well,
like it now. Yeah, this game is better.
yeah, you like it now because you finished P2. Now on to Saxman. Well, penalties and weather changes made the difference in this one. Definitely. You went on to the enters 2 laps earlier than the other two on the podium. And that actually made the difference. You came out in front of them despite you starting on mediums. You pitted 2 laps earlier for the enters, and you came out ahead of both of them. So, other than that, talk us through your race. Just controlling the pace from there.
Yeah, congrats to Skippy there for second place and Taylor for third place. Those guys were quick all night long. I probably came in a lap too soon on the inters, but I figured that they were pretty much struggling on the soft tire as it was because I noticed at the end there my mediums had a bit more pace. Um, so probably a lap too soon, but I figured I'd take the chance, knowing that they were going to be struggling on the slicks. Surprised they didn't cover me off on the second lap, and I thought I was going to be pretty close there on that second lap that we came by, and I think Skippy just barely came out right behind me. And but I had the heat in the inners at that point and was able to open up a gap and just managed it through the weather changes, and then I was trying to help my teammate out by staying out an extra lap on the wets there, but lost quite a bit of time. Skippy almost got the undercut again, and it was just a matter of controlling the pace and keeping the heat out of the tires and not making a mistake. And so happy to come across P1. It's been an up and down season so far. So
It is, and tell me your secrets to not getting penalties, because I'm definitely going to get like 5 of them tonight.
it's funny. Just you got to watch the exits on some of these corners, but be quick here. You also have to maximize as much curb as you can, and it's a balance. I picked up a couple warnings, so I think one more, and I think I would have a penalty myself. So
Yeah, I don't think it would have mattered anyway. You still would have picked up the win. Only 8 people scored points this race, which I think is less than Monaco. So, very hard race to finish apparently. But we only did have 14, I believe, tonight, and it looked like a couple just got pissed off after something bad just happened. But if they would have stayed in, they probably would have scored points. Mav, but good race from you three. Congrats to you three. Taylor, I know this was a pretty good race from you, Taylor, considering you just turned offline as well. Good win from you, Sax, and congrats on the P2 Skeppy as well. Next week,
I'm so excited.
it'll be after next week's race, we'll have finished half the season already, which is crazy to think. Next week, round 11, Austrian Grand Prix. We'll see you all there. Until then, goodbye.